Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Mr. Cobalt, and in this video I'm going to be going over how to use percentages as conversion factors. And I'm going to go over a couple of practice problems. But in addition to that, I'm going to show you how you can pull out conversion factors by looking for things that say like something per something. Anytime you see the phrase that you have something per something, like miles per hour, gallons per minute, or whatever, something like that, you should recognize that as a possible conversion factor that you may use for the problem. You might not use it, but you should recognize it as a conversion factor that you might use. So let's get into this. So in this first problem, we have your body is about 8.0% blood. If you weigh 145 pounds, what is the mass of your blood in kilograms? So, and they're giving us the conversion factor, the equality between 1 pound and 453.6 grams. So, we are going to use that to help us convert to kilograms. So, we start with 145 pounds. So, remember, the question is, what is the mass of the blood in kilograms? That's our goal. That's where we want to get. So the question tells us where we're going to go. Now, where do we begin? So here they're giving us 145 pounds. So we're given 145 pounds. And the rest of this that we're looking for are conversion factors. 99% of the time, you're not going to start your problem with a conversion factor. So a percentage is going to be a conversion factor. If you see something like this, something per something, that's not going to be a starting point. That's going to be a conversion factor. So you're going to look for something that is not really related to any other thing. So this 145 pounds is just kind of sitting there. They give us this weight. And so we're going to start with that weight, and we're going to use everything else to convert to kilograms of blood. So we're going to start with our 145 pounds. And this is the body, right? So this is the weight of the body. So we want to convert the weight of the body to mass of blood, right, in kilograms. So we're going to need to convert. But we're told that 8%, 8.0% of the body weight of the body is blood. And we're not told what that percent is, but we can assume that that percentage is percent by mass. So we have 8% by mass of the body is blood. So again, percentages, we can turn that into a fraction out of 100. So this is telling us that out of 100 units of our body, 8 of those mass units is blood. And we can use whatever unit we want, but since they're giving us pounds, that's the most convenient unit. So we can use out of 100 pounds of body weight, 8 pounds is blood. So we could write that here. So out of 100 pounds of body, 8.0 pounds is blood. So we can use that as a conversion factor. So pounds of body is on the top. So we're going to put 100 pounds of body on the bottom. And we're going to put 8.0 pounds of blood on top. So the pounds of body gets canceled out. Now we have pounds of blood. So, oops. Sorry about that. So now we have pounds of blood. We want to get that to kilograms of blood. So we're going to use this. We're going to convert that to grams. So we're going to set up our conversion. So we have pounds of blood on top. So we're going to use 1 pound on the bottom. So we're going to have 1 pound of blood on the bottom. And we're going to have 453.6 grams of blood on top. So the pounds of blood cancel out. Now I have grams of blood. I have one more step. I need to convert grams to kilograms. And again, we need to know our conversion factors between grams and kilograms. And so you would set that up, right, like so. So I know that there's a certain number of grams that is equal to a certain number of kilograms. I always put the 1 with the prefix and the prefix multiplier, in this case, kilo, which means 10 to the 3 or 1,000 is going to be with the grams. So here's my equality, so I can use that as a conversion factor. So grams of blood on the top here, so I want 10 to the third grams of blood on the bottom, and I want 1 kilogram of blood on top. So grams of blood is going to cancel out. I got my kilograms of blood. I am done. So all I need to do is multiply and divide and calculate the answer. And when I do that, I get, what's the answer? What's the answer I get? That's going to be 5.3 kilograms of blood. So that's the answer I get. Okay, rounded to the 2 sig figs, right? Because remember, I have 2 sig figs here. I have 3 here. I have 4 here. And this is exact, so we can ignore that. So the smallest number is 2. So that means my answer should have 2 sig figs. Okay, let's do problem number 2. So in problem number 2, it says that the label on a can of cat food tells you there are 0.94 pounds of cat food per can. So that's something per something. I have pounds per can. And then I'm also told that I have 0.15% calcium. So I can use this as a percent or as a conversion factor out of 100. So I can use whatever unit I want. So we'll use that as a conversion factor. And then it says if there are 3 servings per can, there's the per, right? Something per something. So servings per can. Then how many grams of calcium are there in each serving? Okay, so we have a few conversion factors we can use. We got to figure out where we're going to begin. We're going to go to the question. The question tells us where to end and maybe even where to begin. So the question is, how many grams of calcium? So we want to find grams of calcium. So we want to get to grams of calcium. So if we draw my arrow here, I want to get to grams of calcium. But where do I begin? Well, I got to figure out where I begin. Everything that they've given me, pounds per can, this percentage of calcium, servings per can, right? It's all conversion factors. I'm not going to start with a conversion factor. However, notice that they tell me, they're asking me how many grams of calcium are in each serving. So each serving means 1 serving. So I'm going to start with 1 serving. So I'm going to start with 1 serving, and I'm going to use conversion factors. I'm going to multiply by conversion factors until I get to grams of calcium. So let's begin. So I'm going to start with 1 serving, and this is serving of cat food. And where am I going to go? So what do I know about servings? I know that there are 3 servings per can, right? I know that the label says that 1 can of cat food is 9.4 pounds. And so that's per can. And I know that out of that 0.94 pounds is 0.15% is calcium. So I can convert my servings to cans because I know that there are 3 servings per can. So let's go ahead and do that. So I have serving on top. So I'm going to put 3 servings on the bottom and 1 can of cat food on top. So servings canceled out. Now I have cans. So now I can use that to convert cans into pounds of cat food because I know that 1 can of cat food is 0.94 pounds of, of cat food in the can. So I can convert cans into pounds. So let's go ahead and do that. So 1 can of cat food is equal to 0.94 pounds. So I got cans on top. So I'm going to put 1 can on the bottom and 0.94 pounds on top. So oops, I should put 0. So 0.94 pounds on top. So cans cancel out. Now I have pounds. So now what do? So I know that out of these pounds of cat food in the can, 0.15% of that is calcium. So I can write that out of 100. So for every 100 pounds of cat food, right? 100 pounds of cat food, that's going to be 0.15 pounds of calcium. So I'm going to write that as a conversion factor. So I have pounds of cat food on the bottom, so I can use pounds. So 100 pounds of cat food. I should put cat food here so we know what we're talking about. Cat food or CF. I write CF for cat food. CF for cat food. 100 pounds of CF cat food on the bottom. And then on top, I'll have pounds of calcium. So 0.15 pounds of calcium. So the pounds of cat food cancel out. And now I have pounds of calcium. So, but I don't want pounds of calcium. I want, what are they asking? Grams. How many grams of calcium? So I need to now convert pounds to grams. And I have my conversion factor here. 1 pound is equal to 453.6 grams. So I'm going to use that as my final conversion factor. So I have 1 pound of calcium on the bottom because I have pounds of calcium on top. And I have, I'll put 453.6 grams of calcium on the top. So pounds of calcium cancel out. Now I have grams of calcium on top. So I am done because that's what the problem is asking for. It's asking for grams of calcium. So now all I need to do is multiply and divide. And I'll get my answer, which is going to be, give me a moment while I look at my calculation. And the calculation is 0.21 grams. So 0.21 grams of calcium for my answer. And once again, I have 2 significant figures here because remember the least number of significant figures in my inexact values. So this is exact, 1 to 3, that's a counting number. This is exact. This is a measure. I have 2 sig figs here. This is a measure. That's going to be 2 sig figs here. That comes from the percentage. And then I have 4 here. So the least number is 2. So I have 2 sig figs in my answer. So I hope this was helpful. If this helped you understand how to use percentages as a conversion factor and also how to use your something per something as a conversion factor, then by all means, please like this video, hit that like button. Also, share this video with your friends, subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell. When you hit that notification bell, make sure that you hit all, so that way you can be notified by all the videos I put out. And then finally, by all means, please put a comment down below in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Ask me questions. I would love to hear from you. Thanks for joining me and have a great day.